Hey, so I just got back from seeing The Force Awakens. Literally, just got back into the house, and I gotta say, I wanted to talk about it. I want to tell you my initial thoughts, process, and what I liked, what I didn't like, and how I felt overall. So if you do not want to hear spoilers about The Force Awakens, if you do not want to know any major plot points or anything, stop watching right now. Stop. All right. So, so it was amazing. Let me just say that first off bat. The characters, the new characters, the new plot points, the old characters coming in, that was just phenomenal. I loved it. I love seeing all these people, seeing some of these old characters that I grew up with and got to see older. That was pretty awesome. Seeing Leia, Han, even Luke at the very end was amazing to see. Kind of inherent character age. It was pretty cool. I loved it, and it was pretty cool seeing new characters, several new characters. We're talking about Poe Dameron. We're talking about Finn. We're talking about Rey. Several First Order people that I don't know the names of at all. There was a General Commander guy, and Captain Phasma, who was actually pretty awesome. Little underused, but I hear that she's supposed to be a lot more used in the future. So I can't wait to see more from her 100%. It's gonna be pretty awesome. But then to break it down just very briefly, Finn was pretty good. He was very naive. I don't quite understand how he got to where he was, how the training camps, all that worked to get to where he is and to be a stormtrooper. But I like the idea. I like the idea that he was bred to be bad and didn't like it and wanted to be good. So I really appreciated that one in a little bit. Poe Dameron, I don't know what to make of him. I'm not buying the fact that he disappeared and then was, hey, I'm back with the Resistance. So out of the two, walking out there, you're thinking that something's missing from both Finn and Poe as far as who's got the right motives. But I'm leaning towards Poe not being all he says to be. So I love the fact that there's questions, by the way, at the end of this film. Then we have Rey. Now Rey, by far, this is the first time in any Star Wars film that I've ever watched that the main character that I like the most did not die. Rey is my favorite character of this entire film. I liked her growth. I liked seeing where she kind of went from being a scavenger, just a scavenger, to being something a little bit more special. Lots of questions still, who she is, what does she bring to the entire Force? Is she, Luke's daughter? Is she another Han and Leia daughter? One of the other kids? Is she related somehow to Kylo Ren? Kylo Ren, who was a pretty interesting villain. I really liked how he was, in a sense, very much a evil villain 5-year-old. He had some interesting character development when he, big spoiler alert, when he killed his father, killed Han Solo. It was horrible, but at the same time, it was really protracted. I kind of saw it coming in a way. I was not surprised, but also finding the family relation to them, I didn't quite see it as just. I mean, it was pretty good. I got it. I could see where the family would have broken down, but yeah, it was pretty interesting in that way. His voice was actually more chilling than his actions, if that makes sense. But anyway, Rey's journey throughout the whole thing was really sold me on the film. But yeah, so a couple good things about the film. I really enjoyed seeing Star Wars back. Seeing the Star Wars fly out and the opening crawl come up, that was amazing. I got to take my 7-year-old daughter. This is the very first Star Wars she's ever seen in the theater, and she loved it, and I love seeing the reaction. She got really emotional and excited and happy with a number of parts, and I was really happy to be a part of that and see that. I love the settings. I love seeing some more planets. Again, we're dealing with very typical Star Wars isms. JJ didn't, go too far off the mark with the desert type planet and the forest planet and the snow planet, which was pretty cool. So you had all those basic Star Wars planet isms or setups. So it was good. It still felt very in-universe. Everything felt in-universe. There wasn't anything that technologically or anything, even BB-8 felt very in character or in universe. BB-8 was awesome, by the way. That's a big pro. There's a few moments where he was they really banked on the cuteness of him. The cuteness factor was definitely there and was definitely pushed on to the point where they even made him purr. I don't know how I felt about that 100%. My daughter absolutely loved it. BB-8 is now the most enduring droid for my little girl. So a couple cons though, a couple things I didn't like at all. Highly derivative. We had a trench run. We had a number of things that were pretty much part for part of the original trilogy. Especially in New Hope. I mean, great cameos by Admiral Akbar and whatnot, but still some very specific things that were pretty much exactly the same. So I was a little disappointed by that. I mean, it was, in some ways you can say it was an homage in a way, but the problem with it, and here's the biggest problem I have with the whole film, 100% how I feel, and I hope maybe I'll change my mind later, but I felt it was very fan film-like. And I guess in a way it kind of was, with the huge blessing of George Lucas in this case, compared to some fan films, or at least the complete purchase of George Lucas's property. But when it came down to it, it felt like, I mean, there was a lightsaber fight in the woods. Pretty cool ending that no fan film's ever done before, but still there's a lightsaber battle in the woods. And yeah, I mean, there was a few things that really stood out as far as making a fan film. One thing too is there was a lot of people really promoting the movie, saying, "Oh, finally, we're going to go back to the old way of Star Wars. We're going to go back to practical things and practical aliens and practical this." And yes, they did. They had some amazing practical effects. There were some great aliens. They had a slightly newer cantina that had brand new aliens and the old aliens and a new band. That was pretty cool and some really cool things. But let's be honest here, there was a ton of CGI in this film, ton. Everything from ships to buildings to characters, fully realized characters, one of which was amazing. I believe the character's name was Maz. Amazing little short orange character with amazing features and voice acting amazing. And then we had the over leader who looked horrible. Horrible, he looked horrible. His CG just wasn't as up to par as some of the other areas. We had definite CGI pretty much everywhere in the film. So anyone who's thinking that this is like this huge step in the right direction because of practical effects needs to take a step back and realize that they did use a lot of practical effects, but there's still a ton of not so practical effects. And not that that's bad. I think that's just unfair. People being very unfair to the prequel, saying that all digital effects are bad and we can't do that because the only best way to do a Star Wars film is all practical. So anyway. I don't want to take this to be too long. So anyway, those are my thoughts, some of my basic thoughts. I really did enjoy the film. If you haven't seen it, go see it. I will be buying it on Blu-ray. I will probably be working on some props and costumes from it. There's a number of props I loved in this film. Loved. Most one specifically right off the bat is Rey's blaster. Loved it. Not just because Han gave it to her, but just because it was a really cool prop. And I may be doing some of the other ones too. Because she has become a favorite of my daughter as well. So anyway, my family really enjoyed the film. I really enjoyed the whole atmosphere. We lined up. There's a big lineup, met some really cool people in line. So if any of you are watching this that was there and talked with me, thanks so much for chatting with me. I loved meeting you guys. It was amazing having chats about the other films and other fandom things, just amazing. Enjoyed my time completely. Not a perfect film. Probably not in my top 3 films, but I loved it. I love seeing where Star Wars is going, and I love the fact that there was a ton of questions completely unanswered by the end of this film. So anyway, if you have any things you want to comment, please do so below. Again, I look forward to seeing what you have to say. I look forward to seeing what your reactions are too, so please let me know in the comments below. Also, please don't forget to connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and don't forget to click over here to subscribe as I have more videos coming out for props and costumes and maybe some more stuff like this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much for liking and subscribing, but most of all, thanks for watching.